Alright guys, Supreme Com here, so going to be doing the Alteration review for the Gundam Exia Dark Matter here. So as far as the Exia Dark Matter, this is actually quite a very good melee unit, only on a very selected parts. So that's that. We do have 8 parts in total, so let's see what's going on. So starting out with the head part, head part is probably one of like something that we really need as a melee based build, because when I was doing like the concept simulation build for melee, I just realized that we were lacking so much in terms of the damage trait right there. So this one actually just supplement for that. So I was just like, my god, thank you. This is actually a part we needed, and this one does have some pretty high stats, so I'm like, why not? Unfortunately, this part is just not going to be available within that 36 hours long banner, so this one will probably be within the next iteration of it. So somewhere, I don't know if they would do one for December, like for Christmas time. If they do one for Christmas and this one is on that roster, this is definitely going to be a part you want to be getting for your melee based build, because this one pretty much checks up everything that we need. We have the initial charge boost by 30%, which is this one is really good, and then we also do have that 40% enemy melee damage, so that completely checks out what we need. So this one starting up is actually really good already, like 20%. So for any new players that's looking at a really good melee part, this one you don't really need to do a whole lot of investment to get it up and running. Like essentially you're good to go with this one already. So yeah, this one is pretty good. So I think I think the biggest things that people have learned for this time around is the fact that no matter if you guys like the unit or not, whatever, do summon at least once to try per banner, so that you guys can at least secure that L badges, because you guys will quickly learn that L badges are something that is very hard to kind of come by, especially when they do like a large banner like the 36 hours long banner. They don't provide that. So as far as like trying to get those part to a better situation, you just can't, because you can alterate them. On big scale, you just don't have that because they're not alterated, so they stay as a 1 to 144 scale. So I think that is definitely going to be the biggest takeaway. So if if the Exia Dark Matter is something that you want to invest in as a melee based build, let's say the head part is something that kind of checks up your box, that like checks up your kind of like your requirement of part that you want, this one is definitely do pull on it at least once, so you guys can secure the L badge, or you guys can wait for its inevitable return, which is I don't know. I don't know when they will ever update that roster. So yeah, that's something. But head part definitely, in my honest opinion, the best part within the overall kit. All the other one, I feel like they're just kind of slap in the face once again. They're just not. They're good, but they're not good at the same time. I don't know. Torso wise is good. First portrait is honestly really good. It's gonna be an EXQ cooldown reduced by 23%. This one is not really locked onto any specific typing, I guess, in a way, or I guess Infinite Justice did already. The big scale version that came out right before the 3rd anniversary. This one is honestly doing what is needed already. The second trait is like, what? Why do I need that? You know, I think this one is honestly just really poor. So 20 seconds. So this is only after 20 seconds, then you get this. So yeah, like I don't really too much care about the job gauge, because if you guys do have the 4-star version of the pilot gear, you already have your, you should already have your job gauge at 90% already. So I don't know what kind of situation where you want to use it once again, and I would not really waste a portrait slot on this specific portrait. It's just honestly not worth it. So yeah, so this one honestly I feel like a shaft in a way. Tag wise it's pretty good, you know, high mobility and then close combat, so no complaints. It's just the portrait, it sucks. I really want something better. If they are gonna slap on like another, you know, generic EXQ cooldown reduced by an X amount percentage, I just need them to give us something better or something of a similarity. But which we have gotten so much already. Infinite Justice, Aerios, even the Crossbone, Full Cloth. We have a lot of those. Like we really need something that's, you know, out of the ordinary, I guess, in a way. So yeah, that's that. I guess what we really need is something that has the damage trait but of a better percentage, right? We have the double contact with saber. This one is a hybrid. You have the regular power boosting and then the damage percentage, but we need something that is pure damage. So I don't think we have yet to have that as far as melee build, so that is definitely something we're still in the process of getting. But other than that, we do have hybrids, like this one once again, the hard roots. I haven't really changed yet, so this is the old language. They have it as cut, but it's essentially translated into damage. So yeah, we just need that double damage, and then that'll be solid. But till then, we will just continuously be getting these. I don't know why. What's the point? Like I don't really get what's the point of dropping one right there. Areas was another one, and Infinite Justice was another one. So it doesn't really makes a whole lot of sense if we look at the whole grand scheme of things. So, but if they want to continue to shaft melee build, go for it, because honestly, melee build is just not really that usable. It's just for fun, It's honestly not something to take seriously anymore, just because of the usability has severely reduced. So it's just unfortunate. But look at it, arm, 20k. Yeah, use that 40% change gear, and then you get yourself a 20,000 in total arm. So that's kind of crazy. But unfortunate factor, this one is locked onto an EX skill. So your best case situation is trying to find something that gives you that portrait, which I don't think we have that much of a good option, because as far as the tags for the Dark Matter or the Exia Dark Matter, we are looking at for base and then or high mobility. Which I'm trying to see if there's anything that we can actually use as far as good portrait. Honestly, you can still use this one, the Gundam Roots. I think this one definitely gives you that really good supplementary. You do have that buff, you do have the EX skill power boosting, which I think some of the other one are going to be in the big skill realm, like this one, the Double O Quantifold Saber. That's going to be a big skill, so you can't really viably subslot into that. Or you can look at maybe this one, the Wing Zero Piece Scrap Endless version, but this one you are looking at a 20% EXQ charge, which we don't really want that. So there's definitely options, but not to its entirety. Even this one, no, this one really wouldn't work, because you don't really have like the same word tag combination, or at least one. So you are getting pretty shafted here. So I guess my best recommendation, if you guys are looking for a good subslot partner, would definitely gonna be Haru, because I don't think even this, never mind, this one actually works as well. This one is good, but then going back again, it's a double melee power boosting, which we really want either like a hybrid, or we want like a full damage rate, which we just don't have. So that's kind of a shaft. But yeah, it's just to show you guys that even though this arm does have a pretty high stats, but it's just what you can kind of combine with is kind of like whatever you can subset with, just kind of limited with these two kind of vortex right there. But it's not bad overall. Definitely, if you guys are trying to invest into the arm, just do make sure you don't subslot another arm that has the EXQ, because you're not gonna be benefiting anything from within the portrait. So yeah. Moving over to the leg, we do actually have a brand new EX skill, but people have spotted this EX skill is actually just another reanimation from the Crossbow XMO, which is I think I actually did went ahead and look at it, and that I think frame by frame they're actually the same. So I'm just like, okay, so I don't know if you guys still want to treat this one as like a quote-unquote brand new EX skill when they already have done it, but I mean, like, honestly, I'll treat it as a new EX skill. I'll cut them some slacks. This EX skill is honestly really good. The first two is just kind of like a base already, but the second or the third effects, squad continuously recover 10% of armor at a time. So this one is really good for disturbing. Like, this one is really good for longevity. This one is really good when you want your team to sustain, don't want it to die essentially. This one is good. So for anyone that, let's say for any of those story event where you're struggling, pop this EX skill, and then your whole raw squad within the duration of the EX skill, with the activation, whatever the effects, you're pretty much gonna be surviving. So this is good. Definitely love the fact that they are tossing in some new effects, which we have not really seen before. So definitely props to them. But other than that, as far as the animation wise, probably not gonna be it's a recycle, right? Just a reanimation. So I don't know. It's either you guys like it, dislike it. So yeah, do definitely let me know your thoughts on that. But this one, unfortunately, this one does have an EX skill, so we are gonna be hunting for a good portrait, which this one is a big scale. So our best option is definitely trying to find something that is non-big scale. I think something that I have looked at already is the Lupus. Yeah, the Lupus would work if there is a matching word tag, so you can at least get up to a 30%. But regardless, you are still getting that base 20% as the scale difference, which is, it's better than nothing. But honestly, we just need something better, which I think Melee at this point in time is just lacking. Again, I don't know why. This one could work honestly, but this one is a big scale. The Lupus Rex. The Lupus is strictly melee power boosting, and yeah. So until we get something that is really beneficial for melee build, I feel like it's just sad in a way. To my best expression, I can just say sad. We have squad cooldown, another EXQ reduction. Like why do we need so much variant while in terms of shot based build they have tons of, let's say, double boosting? So it just doesn't make sense to me. So but yeah, so let's kind of head over to the back part now. As far as the back part, just kind of continue this trend of just having some really good offensive stats, and then just really good melee defense. So that's why throughout everything that we have seen so far, it is going to be within the top contender. So that's actually really good to see. But it's just the fact that sometimes you do see some really wonky portrait or some vortex like for base. Really, do we really need that? So yeah, that's gonna be the unfortunate factor. As far as the EXQ, we still have the same one, the Dark Matter Blade. So this one has not really changed. The only thing that has changed is definitely this one gonna be into the big scale. But other than that, in terms of sub slot, there is a few. You can definitely look at the Crosswind Excellence for Quad. This one does give you that double. Like I said, once again, where is my, let's say, damage rate? You pretty much don't even find that for melee build. I don't know. So even going down a little bit further, we do have the Raven Final Battle type, but this one does not really give you that tag pairing at all. So that is unfortunate. So yeah, melee out here are just slacking. Like I said again, until we get something better. I think it's just pretty sad because this one being a big scale, so there are tons of options that you're not going to be able to kind of pair it with. So yeah, sad, but yeah. All right, you know what's even sad? We have the blade here. So we have the prominent blade and then the Bronco. So this one is actually starting out really good for the secondary trait, but the first trait is once again why are they doing one of these really outlandishly bad portrait? 55% chance of penetrating super armor. Like, do we really need that? So I'm just kind of questioning, like, when they made this unit, like, why do they went out of the way to shaft another melee build? Like, what's the point? This one does have some pretty high stat, but the portrait kind of speaks for itself. It's just really not good for the investment. So here's that. Yeah, good with tags. You do have high mobility and then close combat. So this one being a dual saber, I think we definitely do have some options, right? I think something that I'm looking at already is actually, I thought I was looking at something that I can actually subslide into. Oh, this one. We have the Twin Mace from the Gundam Lupus. This one is actually a very good one. We have a 35% buff and then a melee power boosted by 40%. So I would take that. This one is definitely, I think by far right now, one of the better ones to be looking at. So we'll definitely take that. Other than that, because this one is not big scale, pairing it with that one is gonna be really good. Other one that I think we're looking at is either not the dual saber or their big scale. So kind of unfortunate once again. But yeah, this one, why? If they didn't make this one, if they would have just give this like a damage trait, that would have been perfect. But other than that, I feel like the melee weapon is not really good for that investment either. In a way, you guys can definitely do let me know. Do you guys still think it's good? I just feel like the first portrait is just kind of a dud. So moving over to the Dark Matter rifle. So let's see what we have. Sidewise is pretty good. It is gonna be one of the top contenders, so that's gonna be good. As far as the portrait, after 5 seconds pass, enemy melee damage plus 50%, and then while high mobility, melee power boost by 50%. So they did went ahead and give us a double 50%, but there is a slap to your face once again. Like, why 5 seconds elapsed? Why do they want to do that? So throughout, if we're talking about after that 5 seconds, this one is definitely a very godly melee weapon or a ranged weapon to be looking at. But 5 seconds, honestly, it's just shafting you in everywhere possible, because especially in arena, which you want to clear things up within like the first 5 seconds anyway. And this one says, oh, you only get that melee damage plus 50% afterwards. So I'm just like, what are we doing here? So that is definitely really unfortunate. I think that's the things that I'm looking at are just way better. Right now, it's definitely going to be the ranged weapon for the Sazabi Light Slash version. This one is giving you that damage trait and then a buff trait. So this one is honestly just a very good example for the time being. Like, this is like why. Something that's even, you know, really better is probably going to be the Eclipse Gundam Beam Raffle. This one is giving you still a double 40% trait, so this one is still holding on really nice. But other than that, you can definitely scroll down a little bit further. You guys can see that the Astrea Type F2, this one is still good, but we just need that. Oh, this one is actually not that good, because this one is a double beam as what its condition is, so this one is definitely another hard knock as well. But other than that, until we do get better options, or until I guess not until we get better options, I think the thing is, like, we do have to kind of supplement into some shooting based parts, because the list that I have on here does not list things that are within the kind of the range weapon category in a way, because we are looking at things that has the highest melee stats in a ranged weapons. But sometimes what I would like to do, I'll dip into whatever the selection has for the ranged weapons, because sometimes they do have something that's a little bit more universal that I can kind of put onto my melee build, and it wouldn't really cause a problem. So there's just gonna be a lot of mix and matching. So if the melee build does not really provide you that part you want, or at least that specific part trait, that's what I'll really do. But moving over to the shield, and last but not least, so let's see what we have here. The shield is actually another bonker. So we do have a 90% shooting power reduced by 90%. That's good. Yeah, so that's actually really good. But this one, I feel like is in a direct competition with something that we already had. So this one is the Destiny Tech attribute version. So this one is with high mobility, enemy all power reduced by 35%. So and then same thing, buff trait. So I don't really think there's like a competition here. I feel like the all power in general is just a little bit better, because this one is pretty much going to be 50% of the time. So if you are fighting against a melee enemy, well, guess what? your enemy's not going to be executing any shooting based EX at all. So that's why this one is probably better. But don't be I guess in a way to rephrase that, 90% is really good. You know, if you're talking about really tanking enemies, like capping out at 90%. And then if we do take a look at what we had for last week, right, when we had the Strike Noir, you combine this one with the torso, like, oh, guess what we have? We have up to a 270% reduction for shooting power already. Like, that is busted. So yeah, 90% I feel like is definitely a norm that they are trying to push. But until they push out a higher percentage for like all power reduction, then that'll be really good. But right now, looking at a single singles department like this shooting, this is really good already. But I just feel like right now at this current time, just having this one is probably a little bit more in the safer spot in my opinion. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it for the Exia Dark Matter review. There's just a lot of parts that I feel like could be better, but they definitely went ahead and neglected it. But other than that, I feel like the head part is definitely the true winner from the overall set. All the other one are just kind of like mediocre in a way. But do let me know how many units actually did summon on the Dark Matter, the Exia Dark Matter banner, and then do tell me your result. But other than that, that's gonna be pretty much it, and then I'll be catching you guys all on the next one.